Hey, welcome back. Glad you're back. Today we're going to talk about Lesson 4 in your Excel step-by-step book. And today we're going to be more concerned about the workbook's appearance. This lesson will become much more important as you start working on 20-point problems and eventually in the semester when you start creating your workbooks from scratch, you'll probably want to come back to this chapter and look it over. It's that important. So let's get started. As you know, we're spending the first few weeks becoming acquainted with the Excel program, and again, if you're a Power Excel user, you may know a lot of this, but I guarantee that you're going to learn some new things, so please be patient. In this chapter, we're going to learn how to format cells, change the way they look, which can add a lot to your workbook's appearance. Specifically, we're going to learn how to define styles, how to apply workbook themes and Excel table styles. We're going to learn how to make numbers easier to read for the user, and we're going to learn how to change the appearance of data based on its value. And then finally, we'll work a little bit with images. Again, as you work each lesson, keep a notebook nearby, jotting down important shortcuts and things that you may not be familiar with. This will incredibly help you when you study for quizzes and exams. For example, did you know that you can change the data's appearance based on its value? Did you know that Excel 2016 has certain defaults set up, but of course you can always change them? For example, the default font is called Calibri. And finally, you can greatly enhance a spreadsheet's appearance by using things like different fonts, colors, spacing, borders, different types of formatting, images, and the like. This adds value to your work, and later on when you're creating your work from scratch, it will also add points. So let's get started. As you read through the quick study directions in Canvas, you'll notice that in this module we're going to start off with the file that you created in Module 3. That's the file where you should probably have 10 family members listed, and we computed how old they were in days and in years, and then we used some statistical functions down here at the bottom in the previous lesson to calculate the sum, average, and so forth. That's the file we want to use. And the instructions are going to tell us to use conditional formats. That means if a data value exceeds or is less than whatever parameters you set in, the color of the cell is going to change. Let me give you an example of when this is helpful for a teacher. I will put conditional formats in to alert me to students that are not doing well. So in my case, I might put a conditional format that says if a student has less than 70% to highlight the field in red. That grabs my attention and I know that I need to do some remediation work with the student. So that's just a quick example of when these would be effective. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the ages. You have 10 cells set up, but I'm only using 5. And we're going to apply conditional formats. And the Canvas directions are going to tell us that if somebody's older than 30, we're going to use a red format. If somebody's between the ages of 18 to 29, we're going to use a yellow format. And anyone who's less than 18, we're going to use a green format. So I'm going to take the work that we've already done, and I'm going to highlight the ages that I'm interested in, and I'm going to go to the Home menu. There's an option over here called Conditional Formatting. I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to set the rules for what I want the cell to look like. So in this case, I'm going to use the Highlight Cells rules, and we'll start off with greater than, and I believe what we told the parameters in the Canvas is if they're greater than 30, then we want to fill them with, and this is a drop-down box where you can choose I want to go ahead and use the red. So I'm going to choose that and press OK. So I've set my first conditional format, and you'll notice that people that were older than 30 are now red. I'm going to apply the next two formats again by highlighting the entire range, going to the conditional formatting issue, choosing the highlight cell rules, and this time I want to set up between parameters, which means I want to format the ages between 18 and 29. And if anybody falls within those parameters, I want to change it to yellow. So I'll choose the yellow option and I'll press OK. And I'm going to add a third parameter, again by highlighting the data, going to the conditional formatting, choosing the highlight cell rules, and this time I'm going to choose less than, and I'm going to say less than 18. I want to highlight with green. And once I press OK, again, in this case I only have 5 people, you're going to have 10, but think of a class of 100 people. Okay, and think of how nice it would be to be able to have the computer alert you to anyone that was struggling. That's where these conditional formats come in very handy when you're trying to highlight data to a user that might require future attention. So that's how the conditional formatting works. Let's go on now and talk about adding images. Okay, so let's talk about adding images. In this case, I'm going to go to Insert, and boy, there's different things we could do here. What's the best way I want to show you this? 1 second, let me check out the directions. Okay, so in this case, we're going to insert an illustration of something that you choose, whatever it is that you choose. So I'm going to pick illustrations. I'll go ahead and choose pictures. And Excel will tell me that I can choose it from my camera roll or from saved pictures, or you can also go out to the internet and search. So let's see if I put in a beach, what happens? Okay, I didn't have any beaches in my personal pictures that I had tagged with the word beach. So let's go look online. So again, insert illustrations. I'm going to look for online pictures. I'm going to go ahead and use a Bing image search because it's Microsoft, but let me put in the word beach and then click the little magnifying glass. You can pick any image you want. It does not have to be a beach. That looks like a pretty one, so I'll pick that. I'll click Insert, and you can see that the picture's pretty big, so you can resize the pictures, and there's lots of different ways to do that. You can right-click on the image and change it that way, or you can grab the corners of it, which I'm having trouble doing because the image is very big. But if you go find the end of it and grab that image and slowly size that picture, it's tough with a mouse that I have, but you can get the gist of it. I want to make it much smaller than that, just so you can get the hang of how you could insert small images in your work. And I can fool around with sizing that some more, which I really don't want to do in the interest of time. But let me try one more time. There you go. Okay, so you can look for your favorite animal, you can look for a person, you can choose a sunset, you can do whatever it is that you like. But go ahead and insert an image so I know that you know how to do that. And again, I haven't finished the template yet. I need to clean it up, and I believe I also asked you to insert a repeating background. So make sure you read the instructions in the book and attempt that. Try and get your image to fit on at least one page, but with the repeating background, don't worry if it's more than that. And again, I'm here waiting and ready and willing to help. So once you've finished this quick study task and you've made sure that you've checked it for spelling and you've made sure that it looks nice and that hopefully it fits to one page, go ahead and upload it to me through Canvas. Don't forget that, as always, you need to post to the discussion board as the Canvas instructions require, and you need to take the short assessment quiz, which is timed for 60 minutes. And of course, as always, if you need help, feel free to contact me in any of the ways that you already know by now. I'm eager to get your work, and I'm here to help. Please reach out if you need me. Take care. See you soon.